Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain the topic gears and gear ratios. Means what are the different types of which are the different types of gears are used in our automobile engines, and what are their functions, what is the gear ratio, different things regarding that I will explain here. First, what is the gear? So just a minute. Yes, as you know about gear are used to transfer power from one shaft to another shaft and in the same or opposite direction. मीन्स गियर का यूज़ किया जाता है कि पावर को एक शाफ्ट से दूसरे शाफ्ट पर ट्रांसफर करने के लिए. यस, हेयर वन मोर थिंग. The shaft from which the power is transferred is known as, or the gear from which the power is transferred is known as driver gear, and the gear which get power which is get rotated by the influence of the first gear is known as driven gear. So there are two types of gear. First is the driver gear, and the second one, which is moved with the due to the influence of the first gear, is known as driven gear. And if you go about our different types of gearbox which are used in our automobiles, so in automobiles basically two types of gear in our gearbox, basically two types of gears are used. First is spur gear and second is helical gear. So I am explain here, these two types of gears are spur gear and helical gear. So first of all, before explaining the our gearbox, we have to know what is the spur gear and what is helical gear. So first I am going to explain here spur gear and helical gear with the help of diagram. In next slide I have the diagram of spur gear and helical gear. Yes, this is the diagram of spur gear. Spur gear is a type of gear in which uh, as you know that in the gear the teeth are cut at the peripheral of that cylinder, or you can say at the peripheral of that circle. So if the teeth which are cut on that gear are parallel to the axis of the shaft are known as spur gear. As you see here in this diagram, that this is the axis of shaft, and the teeth which are cut in this gear tooth, yeah, in this cylinder, are parallel to the axis of shaft. That's because of that this type of gear is known as spur gear. And further, when I will now I explain the what is the advantage and what are the disadvantage of spur gear. In our gearbox, spur gear is used because the power transmission or torque transmission efficiency in this gear is very high, and this type of then the meshing of this gear, when the or you can say the sliding meshing of this type of gear is very high. Just because of that the spur gear are used in our different our gearbox. And out of this these advantages, the different disadvantages also occurs in our spur gear. And these disadvantages are the spur gear are noisy. When the if you see that if you these two types of gear, first is the driver and the other is driven, when these two type of gear are rotated, then when this the meshing of these gears occurs, then at the time of meshing much amount of heavy amount of noises are generated in case of spur gear. One more disadvantage of this type of spur gear is the mechanical efficiency of spur gear is less. Just because of that, we use in place of spur gear in some different other type of gearboxes, helical gears are also used. Now I am talking about the next is helical gear, which is also shown in this diagram B figure. Helical gears are shown. In the helical gears, the gear tooth which are cuts on the, if you see that this is a cylinder, and in cylinder different types of tooths are cut. If the tooths are cut, the axis, if you see that this is the axis and this is the cylinder, and the tooths are cut parallel to the axis of shaft, then it is called spur gear. And if these tooths are cuts at an inclined, at certain inclined position, means the if the axis of shaft is this and the tooths are cut at a certain inclination, then this type of gears are known as helical gear. In helical gear, as the name means name represents that the helix are maintained, means at certain angle is maintained. If you if I can see you here that this type of arrangement will says that the axis of shaft is this, and the tools are certain level of inclination takes place in the peripheral of that cylinder in the form of teeth, then that is known as the helical gear. The advantage of helical gear is in the helical gear the noise which are generated in spur gear are much, but in case if you talking about the helical gears, then in helical gear, yes, in the helical gear the noise production is less, and the mechanical efficiency, if you talk about the mechanical efficiency, then the mechanical efficiency of helical gear is higher. And I have the things which I have explained you, that some helix are maintained. Then you can see here the diagram in the at the time of meshing, the helix are which are maintained between these two gears are mated. Just because of that, the full power, yeah, full forces are not generated. The mating takes place from one side to another side, due to which less noises are generated in case of helical gear. So if you talk about our gearbox, in our gearbox basically two types of gears are used. Some gearboxes spur gears are used, some helical gear, in some gearboxes helical gear is used, and in few gearboxes both types of gear are used at different positions. Now the different next thing is gear set. A pair of two missing gear is called a gear set. Basically, what is the gear set? When the two gears are meshes with each other, the first is driver and the second is driven, then the meshing or the whole system is known as a gear set. As we see here, that in this case, the gear set may be the set of the two or more than two gears. Like we can say that this is a gear set, this is also another gear set, this is also another gear set. When the two or more than gears are meshes with each other and perform a certain task, then the whole gear system is known as a gear set. Another pinion, the smaller gear A out of the two missing gear A and B is termed as pinion gear. When the meshing of the two gears are takes place, then may be chances that one gear is smaller than the other one. Then the gear which is smaller is known as the pinion gear, and the gear which is the as I have can see you in this diagram, that in this gear set the smaller gear one is pinion gear, or you can say that in this type of gear set the smaller gear this one is also known as a pinion gear. Further, next, idler. Idler is basically a very important thing, and you generally use this type of idler gear in our reverse gear arrangement. Basically, two externally meshing gears A and B in the opposite direct are rotate in opposite directions. If these two gears are to be turned in the same direction, an intermediate gear is placed between them. This intermediate gear is known as idling gear. Yes. Now, if we again explain here with the help of diagram, yeah, here we see that this, if we say that this is the gear A and this is the gear B. So in this case, if the gear A, as you see here, that the gear A which has 24 number of teeth is rotate in a clockwise direction, and the gear B which is has again 24 number of teeth is also driven in clockwise direction. But if we talk about only two gear set, then in two gear set, if one gear is rotated in clockwise direction, then the other meshing gear is also is rotated in anti-clockwise direction. Means if one is rotating clockwise direction, then the other is rotating in anti-clockwise direction. But if we want that if the one gear is rotating clockwise direction, and then and the power is I want to transmit this power is also in clockwise direction, then I want an intermediate gear. So with the help of that, if the clockwise power is transmitted by clockwise rotation of gear is takes place, then due to this intermediate gear, the gear B is also rotating in clockwise direction. In this case, the intermediate gear which takes place between these two gears is known as idling gear, or you can say idler. And if we I will talk about this idler in our gearbox system. Then the basic advantage of this idler gear, yeah, this basic use of this idler gear is the application of this type of gear in reverse gear system. Just because of that, in reverse gear, if the vehicle if we talk about the first, second, third and top gears, then in all these type of gear, if a vehicle is rotating in a clockwise direction, if it assume the vehicle is rotating clockwise direction, then what will the opposite case? In case of reverse gear, the vehicle is rotating or the wheel is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction. Then how it will be possible? It will be possible by the use of idler gear, by which the rotation of adjacent gear is in reverse direction, due to which the reversal of vehicle is, moving of vehicle, reversal of vehicle is takes place. So these are the different types of gears and the set of gears and what is the idler. Now I will talk about the gear ratio. Uh, what is the gear ratio? Gear ratio generally explained in the term of uh, torque, or in the form of diameter, or in the form of speed, or in the form of, we can say, teeth head. Mainly, if we see the example number D. So in this case, uh, the driven gear, or you can say has the driven gear is this, which has 24 number of teeth head, and the outward gear, yeah, the gear which is known as the driven gear. The first gear is, I can say that first gear is A and the second gear is B. The A is a driver gear which produces power, and the B is driven gear which is rotated due to the influence of gear A. So if you talk about the gear ratio, then the gear ratio GR is equal to, I can say, T2, yeah, sorry, we can say TB divided by TA. Yes, this is cancel. TB divided by TA means number of tooth in the driven gear divided by number of tooth in TA, yeah, you can say driver gear. So here we can say number of tooth in driven gear is 48, and number of tooth in driver gear is 24. So the gear ratio is equal to 2. So the gear ratio is the number of tooth in the output gear divided by number of tooth in the input gear is known as gear ratio. Similarly, the gear ratio, if the number of tooth in both two gears are equal, but the diameter of these two gears is dissimilar. So in the form of term of dia, I can also explain that gear ratio is equal to diameter of the output gear, yeah, output driven gear divided by diameter of the input gear, or you can say diameter of the uh, driver gear. In the term of if we talk about speeds, then in term of speed, the gear ratio also can be explained. Yes, the in term of speed, the ratio is just opposite of that. In the term of speed, gear ratio is equal to n input divided by n output, means the speed of the driver gear divided by the speed of the driven gear. So these are the different types of formulas of the gear ratio, and which are frequently used when we talk about the numericals, or when talk about the different terminologies, then this type of formulas are used. Here I have also explained that T is equal to number of teeth, D is equal to dia of the gear, and N is the speed of gear. As you see over here, that the gear ratio is in this set D diagram is 2, and if you talk about the diagram E, then in the driver gear has 48 number of teeth head and the driven gear has 24 number of teeth head. So in this case, the gear ratio will be just opposite of it, and the gear ratio will become in place of 2, gear ratio will become 1 by 2. So this is the formula of gear ratio. And one more thing, when the gear ratio of a system is higher, then the torque transmission capacity is higher, and the speed of the output shaft and speed of the, you can say, driven gear is less. Just the same opposite case will be applicable. In opposite cases, when the driven gear is smaller, then the torque transmission capability, just because of, in this case, the gear ratio is less than 1. So if the gear ratio is less than 1, then in this case uh, the speed of the driven gear is higher and the torque transmission capacity of the gear will be less. Now I am going to explain what is the gear train. If you talk about the gear train, then gear train is a system of more than two meshing gears is known as gear train. Just if you know about the what is the train, when number of bogies are attached into the system, then it is known as a train. Well, just the similar case we can say here, when the numbers of gears are attached one after another with each another, then it is known as a gear train. As we or this type of gears are more than two or more than two maybe takes place. And if we talk about the gear trains, then gear trains may be of two types, and the first is simple gear train. And if you talk about this is the diagram of simple gear train, and in this case this is the series of two or more than two gears rotating on independent shaft meshes together is called simple gear train. As we see here in this diagram, that the gear A, this is a shaft of gear 1, this is a shaft of gear 2, this is a shaft of gear 3, this is a shaft of gear 4, and all these shafts are parallel to each other. This is the shaft of gear A, in which the gear is rotated, and the shaft of gear B, in which again the gear is rotated, shaft C, gear is rotated, and the shaft D, on which the gear is rotated. So are these four shafts are parallel to each other, and on which the gear are mounted, and the gears are meshes with each other. So this type of gear train, in which the shafts are parallel to each other and the gears are meshes with each other, is known as simple gear train. In this case, the gear A is driving gear just because of it produces power. Gear B and gear C are intermediate gear just because of it doesn't give power to the outer shaft, to the any system. It is the intermediate stage of gear A and gear D, and we can say here the gear D is a driven gear. The thing which is written here is a driver gear, not, this is wrong. The gear A is driving gear and the gear D is driven gear, which is driven due to the influence of gear A, or we can say that due to the influence of intermediate gear B and C. And if you are talking about gear train, I have explained that gear trains are basically two types. The first is simple gear train and next one is compound gear train. Now I will talk about the compound gear train. If you go for compound gear train, then the compound gear train is a gear train in which two or more gears may be mounted on a one shaft and meshing with the gear on the other shaft. So अगर हम बात करते हैं कंपाउंड गियर ट्रेन में, तो इन दिस गियर one or more gear या more than two gears are attached in a single shaft. क्योंकि आपके दो या दो से ज़्यादा gears एक shaft पर attached आपके हों, and they are meshed with another gear which are attached with another shaft. मीन्स एक शाफ्ट से आपके दो या दो से ज़्यादा गेयर हैं, अगेन आपके दूसरे शाफ्ट से दो या दो से ज़्यादा गेयर हैं, तो इस फॉर्म ऑफ अरेंजमेंट को हम कहते हैं आपका कंपाउंड गियर ट्रेन. एज वी सी हियर देन दैट इन दिस केस this the gear A, this is the gear A, and it is attached with one shaft. The gear B, it is attached with another shaft, and the gear C is also attached with the same shaft by which the gear B is attached. So in this case, gear A is rotated gear B, and gear B by the rotation speed by which gear B is rotated with the same speed gear C is also rotated. But we can, as we see here, the size of gear B or the number of tooth on gear B is higher in comparison to the gear C. So in this case, the rotation speed, as you see here, the gear A is attached with one shaft, gear B and C are attached with a single shaft, a same shaft, and again the output shaft, output gear D is attached with another shaft. So when two or more gears are attached with one shaft and which are meshes with the different gears which are attached with another shaft, then this type of gear train is known as compound gear train. It is I can say that it is a bit complicated in comparison to a simple gear train. Now I will talk about different types of transmission system, or we can say that gearbox. What are the different types of system? Yeah, different types of gearbox occurs in our automobile engines. And if you go for different automobile or different vehicles, if you talk about, then in this type of vehicles, three different types of transmission systems are occur. First is the manual transmission, as we see here. First is the manual transmission, second is semi-automatic transmission, and third is the automatic transmission. Manual transmission means in which the gear shifting of gears occurs, or you can say takes place by manual method, as generally the conventional vehicles which, till now which have seen. Then in this type of conventional vehicles, the shifting of gears takes place by manual method, in which when we place the clutch, and the shifting of gear with the help of hand lever or different methods, then in mostly in the case of hand lever, that shifting of gears takes place, then it is known as manual transmission. Manual transmission can be further classified into following three types, like sliding mesh gearbox, constant mesh gearbox, and synchronous gearbox. These are further are three types of different gearbox, which I will explain further in our different topics. And the next type of transmission is semi-automatic transmission, and the next one is automatic transmission. Automatic transmission is generally which type of transmission in which no shifting of gear takes place manually. The whole process is takes place automatically, just like the you can say like different types of luxury vehicles, in which you can say that in all these type of vehicles automatic transmission takes place. And the semi automatic transmission is a type of transmission, or you can say a gearbox system, which is lie between the manual and automatic transmission system. So these are the different types of transmission system. And now we explain about these three types of manual transmission system: sliding mesh gearbox, constant mesh gearbox, and synchronous gearbox. If we talk about all these three types of gearbox, then all these gearbox are related with each other. But on this type of gearbox, different types of improvements occur, and on the basis of this improvement, uh, the working, their power transferring efficiency, their performance are also increases. So the first is a sliding mesh gearbox. And the first most important thing, in sliding mesh gearbox, the gears which are used in our system are spur gear. In sliding mesh gearbox, all the gears which are used here, as we see here, this type, this one, and all the three types, different types of gears which are generally used, all the gears are spur gears. And as the name mentioned here, it is sliding mesh means the meshing of the gear, it takes place by the sliding of the gears. First I will explain the different components of the sliding mesh gearbox, then I will explain the working of this sliding mesh gearbox. Yes, that if you talk about different types of component, first component is control lever, by which you shift the gear. In if you talk about your four-wheeler, then in four-wheeler the gear shifting takes place. The first gear is first gear, just suppose the reverse gear, second gear, third gear. So this is a type of hand lever. And in this type of gear system, only four types of gears, or only you can say first gear, second gear, third gear, and fourth gear are shown here. This is the ball pivoter system, on which sliding of control lever occurs. Further you see here the sectors, and the sectors on which is a U-type hook, on which the pivot ball, or you can say control lever attached, and sliding of the gears takes place. If we further talk about this is the direct drive dogs. Direct drive dogs is used in a higher case of gear shifting. It is generally used in case of third gear case. Just because of that, in third gears or in top gear, we explained that what is the amount of power is generated at the crankshaft is the full power is transmitted to the propeller shaft. So in the case of direct drive dogs, the engine is connected to the propeller shaft and the full power is shifted. So it is known as a, in this case, in this diagram case, we can say it is a third gear. Further, the clutch gear. Clutch is a device which I will explain in further in next topics, but here I will just give you a slight information about the clutch gear. Clutch gear is a type of gear which is used to engage or disengage engine to the gearbox. When we want to engage engine with their gearbox, means what is the amount of power generated in the engine or in the crankshaft. If you want to transmit to the gearbox, then the engaging of clutch takes place, and when we want to disengage the system, then we press the pedal and the system is disengaged. This is the input shaft from which power is transmitted from engine to the gear system. This is the clutch. This is the clutch plate. Yes, yeah, this is the clutch gear in which the gear system are attached, which is give power to the lathe shaft, and by which the lathe shaft is rotated. And this is the clutch. Yes, I am explaining about the clutch. The dead clutch is this system. This is the clutch which transmits power from engine to the gearbox, and this is the power which is obtained from engine. As I have told you, that the clutch is at a body which is attached between engine to the gear transmission system, or you can say a gearbox. So this is the engine, this is the clutch, and now the gearbox system is attached. Further, a constant mesh gearbox. Further, I will explain about a constant mesh gearbox. Here the only the things are shown here. Constant mesh gear. The constant mesh gear are the type of gear in which constantly meshing takes place, means there is no sliding occurs. The driver gear and the pinion gear are constantly meshed. There will be no shifting takes place, so it is known as a constant mesh gears. Further, lathe shaft or the counter shaft. The shaft which is parallel to the engine shaft, it is known as the lathe shaft, or you can say counter shaft. In this shaft, different number of gear, first, 2, 3, and this is a reverse gear arrangement are also takes place, and the sizes of these gears are varies according to your need, according to your need of your speed, according to the need of your power transmission or torque transmission. Different size of gears are takes place in the lathe shaft. Further, if you talk about the smaller gear, as you see here, which has 15 number of teeth, is the first gear pinion. The second gear, which has 25 number of teeth, is known as second gear pinion. And the gear system which is attached with idler. Yes, I have explained you the use of idler. Idler is a type of device which is used to transmit power in the same direction. Yeah, you can say that idler gear is an intermediate gear, and which is used to transmit power in the same direction as the power transmitted by the driven gear to the driver gear to the driven gear. So this is idler gear, and it is used in reverse gear system, as I already told you. This is the splines. The splines are just like, you can say that a shaft in which number of uh, slots are generated. On this slots, gear are slides, so these are known as the splines. As you see here, the slots are generated on this the shafts, so this is just splines. Further, propeller shaft, the power which is generated into the cylinder, into the gearbox, it will transfer to the propeller shaft. So this is propeller shaft, and in between that, this is the fork. By this is a fork, you can say. This is a clamp by which the sectors are attached to the different types of gears. So this is simply the different nomenclature and different component of our sliding mesh gearbox. Now I will explain the working of this sliding mesh gearbox. देखिए, सबसे पहले स्लाइडिंग मेश गियर बॉक्स की बात करते हैं कि पावर आपको इंजन से मिली, आपने क्लच को इंगेज कर रखा है, इंगेज करने की वजह से पावर आपकी सीधे क्लच गियर में आ गई. अब नाउ यू कनेक्टेड क्लच गियर विद गियर ए विच इज अटैच्ड विद द लेथ शाफ्ट और द काउंटर शाफ्ट, जिसकी वजह से आपका हुआ कि जब लेथ शाफ्ट या काउंटर शाफ्ट में जो गियर था, जब इन दोनों की आपका अटैचमेंट आपका हो गया, तो चूंकि यहाँ पर नंबर ऑफ टीथ 20 हैं, यहाँ पर नंबर ऑफ टीथ 30 हैं, इसका मतलब आपका हुआ कि यहाँ पर टॉर्क ट्रांसमिशन आपका ज़्यादा होगा और स्पीड ट्रांसमिशन आपका कम होगा. सो दिस इज अ सिंपल थिंग, यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट when the driver gear, the number of teeth in the driver gear is less than the driven gear, then the torque transmission is much and the speed transmission is less. And yeah, you can't say that the transmission, then the output torque is higher and the output speed is less. If we in just opposite case of that, when the teeth on the driver gear is higher than the driven gear, then the output torque is less and the speed output speed is high. So in this case, the driver gear has yeah, or you can say clutch gear has 20 teeth, and the driven gear, you can say gear A is 30 teeth. So yeah, so here the torque transmission is higher, and the rotation by which this lead shaft is rotated, the all the gears attached with this gear number, second gear pinion, first gear pinion, reverse gear or idler gear pinion are all rotated with the same speed. Now we want to shift the gear. So in this case, if we want to attach the first gear, so we control the control lever, hold the control lever and shift the control lever, or you can say control lever, attach control lever with the sectors, and by attaching the sectors we slide the gear splines, or you can say that we slide the 35 number this gear into the leftward direction. When this gear shifted, then the meshing of this gear takes place. I will explain with this, some different color diagram. Yes. Then the meshing of this gear takes place. When the sliding occurs, when you hold the control lever and you slides it, and then the control lever is attached with the selectors, and selector slides the gear number 1 which has 35 teeth into the left direction, and it attached with gear number 1. So in this case, the power transmission takes place. Just because of that, this rotation, this shaft provide rotation to this lead shaft, and this lead shaft provide rotation to this gear. Just because of when the 35 gear, when that gear which has 35 number of tooth is rotated, due to which this propeller shaft rotated, and the propeller shaft give power to the you can say wheels. So this is the type of shifting of gear in the case of when you apply gear first. When you apply gear second, then you again remove control lever from sector 1, and you attach with this sector number 2. In this case, attaching sector number 2 and transmit, yeah, you can say slides it in rightward direction. When you slides it in now I am again explain you. When you slides it in rightward direction, then it's attached with gear number 2, and in this case again the rotation of, due to the rotation of this 25 number of gear, rotation is given, rotation is provided to this 25 teeth gears with the same speed. By how much speed this gear rotated, with same speed this gear rotated, and by the rotation of this gear out, just because of that, this gear is attached with the propeller shaft again rotated, and the power is given to the wheel. So this is the arrangement of second gear. In case of the third case, when you wants to give more rotation, more higher speed sorry, and less torque to your engine, then you apply a third gear. In case of third gear, as seen here for this particular case, in this case you again attach with the sectors and moves it in leftward direction. In the previous case you rotated in rightward direction, but now you traverse it, yes, slides it, you can say, in leftward direction. By the rotating it in leftward direction, these direct drive dogs are clamped with one another. When these dogs are clamped with one another, the amount of rotation, or you can say amount of power which is obtained from the engine, the whole power is given to the propeller shaft. Means the maximum speed, yeah, you can say top gear speed is get in this case of third gear. The third case is, yeah, you can say the fourth case is the application of reverse gear. So in the case of reverse gear, if I am talking about, then the reverse gear case, you again attach this control lever to the sector, and sector shifted in this case rightward. When this selectors moves rightward, then this gear which has 35 number of teeth head slides on splines, and it attached with this idler gear. Yes, it attached with this idler gear, not this one. When they attach with this idler gear, then the rotation speed of this gear in which direction means, if we say that till now the lead shaft is rotated in clockwise direction, then the propeller shaft is rotated in anti-clockwise direction. Just because of that, when the two gears are measured, then the rotation direction of first gear is just opposite to the rotation direction of the second gear. So till now, when the gears are directly meshed with each other, then the rotation direction of lead shaft is just opposite to the rotation direction of propeller shaft. Now you, in this case, you want to move your vehicle in just reverse direction, so you attach another gear is known as idler gear. In this case, your gear, you can say, which has 35 number of teeth head, is attached with idler gear. So in this case, the your rotation direction is, if in your lead shaft is clockwise direction, then idler shaft rotation direction is, now I am explaining you. uh, if the this gear is attached with idler gear, then if the rotation direction of your lead shaft is clockwise, then idler gear rotation direction is anti-clockwise, and the idler gear attached with this gear, so the rotation direction of propeller shaft is again clockwise. So with the help of idler gear, the direction of rotation you can reverse, and this can be used in the for the purpose of reverse gear. So this is the working of your sliding mesh gearbox. This is the full working of the sliding mesh gearbox, but there are few disadvantages in the sliding mesh gearbox, and due to which further modification occurs in the gearbox, and different types of gearbox are used, like constant mesh and synchro mesh. Now I am going to tell you what are the disadvantages in the sliding mesh gearbox. In the major disadvantage of this sliding mesh gearbox is the use of spur gear. Just because of the use of spur gears, as I have already told you, in spur gears, most just because of rubbing of this gear, the full power is transmitted from one side to another side at the same time. Just because of that, much amount of noises are generated, and also the mechanical efficiency of this gear is less. And helical gear we can't use in this type of gear, just because of the full sliding takes place. So in the case of sliding, if the gear teeth are parallel with each other, then the sliding will occur. If the helical gears are slides with each other, then in this case the gear, you can say, rubbing of gear teeth are takes place, and the damage in the teeth may be chances to occurs of the damage of the teeth. So this is the sliding mesh gearbox. And till now, if you're talking about in our conventional automobile engines, in you talking about the conventional auto vehicles, sliding mesh gearbox was generally used. And if you talk about, if you go for further modification of this type of engine, just because that this engine has only first, second and third gear, if you talk about the fourth gear, then the simple mechanism will be takes place in the type of fourth gear. In this yes, I am explaining you. If you use fourth gear, so in that case another lead shaft gear we attach, or if you talk about our output engine shaft, then another gear will attach. When the meshing of this gear will takes place, then that is the case of fourth gear. As we go for increasing speed, then the size of the you can say driven gear is reduces, and size of the driver gear is increases, by which the torque transmission is reduces, and the speed transmission is, yeah, you can say output speed. We can't say here the transmission word. The torque at the output torque will be reduces, and the output in speed will be increases. So I think this is sufficient about the sliding mesh gearbox. In my next class, I will explain you about the constant mesh gearbox, what are the disadvantage of constant mesh gearbox, and what is the double declutching, what is the synchro mesh gearbox, All these topics I will explain in my next class. Okay, I think this is sufficient for this class, and thank you. Thank you.